It's all fair. It's all fair.
Good evening, everybody.
I just found the keys to a city. The beats are big and the lights are pretty. So why can't we go to the busy where the dreams are in the sky?
And that's There You Are by Pogo.
Yay.
And yes, here we are. I don't know what to look at. I'm still not used to this new microphone. Microphone's over here, camera's up here. I'm not even running the microphone on the camera, so hopefully this works 100%. I'm your host, Forrest, as always.
Ethan.
And I'm Ethan.
And I'm Anthony. I've been here before.
And you know both of these men. They've been here before, and we are going to really harp on the men today.
Yay.
Woo! Lots of man-on-man action here today. So remember, guys, look at the speak to the microphone. Look at the camera.
Will do.
Thanks, Captain.
Today is Saturday, January 26th, 2019.
It is.
It is.
And it's cold.
Since you guys haven't watched it, it's always cold. We get it. It's not even a joke anymore. Since you weren't here or haven't watched any of our episodes, Alfred and I started a new thing. We are going to be announcing the date on the episodes because normally we record a week ahead and upload
A week later.
a week later. Yeah. Today we're recording a day before the upload, and this is going to really test my editing skills because I might have to blend a few clips in too for exciting stuff. This was going to be a boring news episode. We really weren't going to have a lot to talk about.
Well, that changed probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a couple days, but it changed. Why don't you tell us about the drink of the week there, Ethan?
Well, this drink of the week is the old-fashioned. But we didn't look it up because we just drink our drink straight, man.
I salute.
Yeah.
Chin down.
Oh,
Chin down.
that was real. I don't like where this is going. Already.
So
Why don't you like it?
So, you know what? We're drinking some nice Michter's bourbon whiskey. Where's the bottle? I think it's
bourbon.
It's like small batch bourbon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's very good. Very delicious. Someone turned me on to this a while ago. If you want the recipe for an old fashioned, go Google it.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly.
So, we're going to talk international news for once. And I am going to let one of these two pick who's talking about international news.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I somewhat studied animal reproduction, so I guess.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I thought you were gonna say you studied the incident.
I studied the incident.
Yeah.
I mean, I read.
He was part of the incident.
Oh God,
Wait,
no!
we have this thing all set up to be nice. We're gonna have to put our ashtray down so we can ash into it.
Ash, yeah, bud.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, apparently in the news there was an Irishman who tried to treat chronic back pain by injecting himself with his own semen.
Nice.
I'm just gonna let that set in for a little bit.
Was he like injecting it where the pain was?
No, he was he was trying to treat back pain, but he was injecting it into his shoulder, from what I understand.
Was it like a monthly treatment? Was it a weekly? Was it?
I
don't. This is confusing. Yeah, this is gross.
From what I understand, he was doing it on a monthly basis for a year and a half.
Oh.
I can't even. What would possess someone to do that? I mean,
Yeah, that's just wrong.
And we may or may not be ripping people off on this joke right here, but there's a lot of steps to take to treat pain.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ibuprofen. There's Aleve, which works very well for back pain. There's stretching. There's right exercise. There's right diet.
Mm-hmm.
What possesses someone to skip all of that and say, I'm going to shoot semen into my arm?
Yeah.
So,
Messed up world.
yeah, so obviously it did not go well. Man had to go to the hospital, and I believe he ended up with a subcutaneous infection in his shoulder.
Oh, look at you using big words.
Subcutaneous? So for those of you that don't know, subcutaneous is just the layer right underneath your skin. But
So he had a rash.
Correct me
no,
if I'm
no,
wrong,
it was beneath the
epidermis?
skin.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe he ended up with an abscess beneath his skin, which is
Ew.
really gross.
ew.
Yeah.
And it wasn't pus filled, if you know what
Oh,
I mean.
all right. Anthony,
Yes.
since he bravely took that one, can you
Bravely.
introduce the next topic?
Apparently, the government shutdown is over.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. People are actually going to start working again.
Well, they've been working. They're just actually going to get paid to work.
Well,
Well,
that's a
most
big.
part.
There's a group of people who are working and not getting paid, which,
sucks.
The essential workers.
and then there's people not working and not getting paid, but all of them get back pay.
And then there's even people in the government that don't work and get paid.
Well, they're all getting paid.
Oh.
So the people
But, like,
who-
they don't work
So
regardless.
the people, yeah, well, normally, but this is just the people who didn't work for a month
Uh-huh.
are getting back pay.
Very good.
So they didn't do a thing, and they're getting paid.
Yay, government. Funding.
But this is only a temporary opening.
Yeah, I believe it's 3 weeks funding will run for.
3 weeks. So, sorry. Hopefully, all these people get paid, and they at least can become a little financially stable before the government shuts back down again, because people are saying Trump caved
Why are they saying that?
because he doesn't have a wall yet.
Mm.
I actually thought it was a very interesting. It wasn't him caving, because it started to affect for 31 days. Our government was shut down. 31, 32.
I think the total's 35 if I remember
No,
correctly.
what?
It was definitely in the 30s.
Yeah, it was-
Okay. Were you guys affected at all?
No,
I
I worked
was-
every day.
Yeah, I wasn't, but I don't have a government job.
Okay. So the only people who were affected by this were government workers who get very good benefits, very good protections, very good. It's a unique group of workers.
Okay.
Very good job security. I mean,
Yes, I agree.
what's the government going to shut down permanently like any
No.
private industry company could do? So they have very good job security. So they had to deal with a shutdown that they're getting paid for. But now the incident started affecting American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
The airlines were starting to get delayed.
Like TSA with the gun that wasn't checked properly. Did you hear that story?
I didn't hear about
You
that.
didn't hear
no.
that? So
Well-
apparently- yeah, that's another story.
That's another
So-
story. But people were beginning to be affected. Flights were delayed. I can't tell if our audio is recording. Is that bar going up and
Yes,
down?
it is. You
Nice.
just gotta be loud.
Ah.
There we go. It's just cold in here.
So people started to actually be affected, and Trump said, "Okay, 3 weeks, come up with a wall deal."
Which, from what I understand, is exactly what Democrats wanted. You know, they wanted to reopen the government and then negotiate border
Which
security.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because Trump said, "Here you go, here's a bunch of options." And we don't want to get into this too much, but Trump gave a bunch of concessions to the Democrats for a quarter, a tenth
You're
Wait,
of
Yeah.
what did he
Uh,
want? He wanted 40 billion initially. So
I've
so
heard-
I
I
think
an
40
eighth.
billion was the initial.
So an eighth of what he asked for. And no. They just said they weren't willing to negotiate if there was wall funding. So
to be continued on that story.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll see. You guys might get, if I'm not sick again, you guys might get one episode before we before the government shuts back down.
So what you're saying is you're a slacker?
I was sick. I'm running for assembly. I already announced this, but I'm actually going to put time into this. I will keep the show open. We're going to have to focus on New Jersey more, but we'll still talk about things like the Covington Catholic story. Either of you know much about this?
Not at all.
I've heard it in the news. To be honest, I haven't seen the video.
So, last week, Sunday, a video came out, or was it Sunday or Saturday night? A video came out of a bunch of Trump supporters, because we only know they were Trump supporters because they had "Make America Great Again" hats on. And they were
front of the Indian guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that.
They were standing there / dancing with an Indian guy who was sitting there beating a drum.
Mm-hmm.
And many a news story ran with this. Group, people, reporters ran with this story.
Yes. And wasn't it all staged or some BS like that?
Not quite. The following day, and I think it was Saturday and then Sunday, the following evening, a video came out that shows 2 hours recording of the incident, both before the incident
And after?
and after the incident.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
basically what it shows is that the Covington Catholic group was there, and they were getting into an altercation, maybe, or the black Hebrew Israelites were harassing them, and they were calling them insects, trailer trash. It was words I can't say on the show, too.
So very colorful, kind words against a race, but they're religious, but they're saying these bad things.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to do things.
They also called a couple of the black kids in the Catholic group a word that the rest of you can probably assume what it is, but I'm not going to say it on the show. Then, even more comes out. The school was shut down on Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there, at least 1 or 2 days this week, because of bomb threats and shooting threats, because they completely doxed these kids. And then it just turns out that it was the media jumping to conclusions. But this is on the heel of a really amazing week they've had. First, they ran the story on that, what was it? Trump told his lawyer to lie. And they ran with the headline, if this is true, by the end of the day, the Mueller probe came out and said, yeah, not true.
Yeah, I think it was, what was it, BuzzFeed News that
Yeah.
that published
good
the
old
initial
BuzzFeed.
story?
Who just laid off all of their opinion editors and staff. Anyway, probably not related at all. What was it? A week ago, the FBI ran, or not the FBI, the New York Times ran a story that the FBI was investigating Trump as a Russian agent. Like, there's
I
that
saw that a
Italian
little bit.
family, like, not like a Russian confidant, not someone who talked to Russians, a Russian agent. Like, that Italian family over there is being awfully quiet Russian agent. So, yeah. And there was one other piece of news, and I can't remember, but it really seems to be the theme that the media loves to just jump onto conclusions, and then their revoking is either deleting the story, a little tagline, and that's it. Oh, they the other thing was the UK paper, The Telegraph, trashed Melania Trump.
Oh.
Like, her family did XYZ, she did PQM, and then they released a statement, it all wasn't true. They're giving her money and paying for any legal fees that arise because of the issue.
Why did you say PQM?
I don't know.
That's a very
Yeah, I was
odd
gonna, like-
series of letters.
'Cause
Because I was like reading through the alphabet and I was like PQM.
I mean, people say
PQR?
people say X,
Well,
Y,
that's
Z.
going to get to our new
Yeah.
art stuff at the end, because
Oh yeah.
is or is not a PQM a firearm?
Wait, what?
A PQM, I believe, is a Russian machine gun.
It might be.
Anyway.
I'll take your word for it.
We'll talk about firearms a little later on in the show.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong here. I could be. We'll
That's why
look
we
it
have
up.
Google.
We'll look it up at the break before we talk about the Gillette commercial.
Yeah.
Catch you guys in a second.
Now kick. Now walk it by yourself.
Anthony, you really want me to work hard on this editing, don't you?
Of course I do. I want you to have better editing skills. Like throw in funny noises and funny effects and
Well,
That's what gets the viewer.
exactly.
if you send me funny noises, audio files, I could probably put it in.
So I have to work.
Yeah.
I thought I was part of the government.
No, you're not. You're not part of a government. You are the best a man can get.
Yeah.
Maybe
God.
not. I don't know. You're too manly.
I am too manly. I mean, look at me and all of drab and grunt style stuff with a beard and a cigar and some liquor.
You got grunt
Whiskey.
style
Yeah,
stuff?
man, this is a sick sweatshirt. Look at that.
Oh, wow. I guess they get it. Hey, there's another advertiser we don't have getting free
Yeah,
advertisement.
exactly.
Free product plugs. Oh, by the way, well, I could say it now. Whatever. I got the new.
Not the digger word, right?
Actually, I probably can leave that there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It works. It ties in.
See,
it's all right.
I got the replacement stuff for man crates. It came with a chipped glass, though. I was a little pissed off. So first they sent the wrong stuff. Then they finally sent the right stuff, and it was chipped, but it holds water, so it was a nice gift. It was a nice thought. It was just a little... I wish their customer service, they were wonderful. They were wonderfully nice. I wish it could have gotten here in a better condition. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's something else.
Who delivered it?
I don't know.
What can Brown do for you?
What?
You never heard that expression?
You know. All right.
You've never heard that expression?
Yes, I have. It's about UPS.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh.
What?
Well, since you said UPS, now it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, God.
This is the people that I have to work with when Alfred's not here.
Oh, shut up.
I guess I'm not up to date with culture, huh?
No.
Uncultured swine.
Exactly. What are you looking at, you hockey puck?
I heard a buzzing noise. Why are you quoting Toy Story?
That's my favorite movie, man.
All right.
All right,
So,
back on topic.
Gillette commercial. Who watched it?
I did.
I just recently did, yes.
How'd you feel about it?
You know, I can see why some people might be taking it as an attack on all men.
I'm not just ignoring you and looking at my phone. I'm trying to find a relevant conversation point that was brought on by the person who again has not shown up. But keep going.
That sounds like a
It's because he's out
personal problem.
partying.
Keep going.
All right, but I can see what they were trying to do. Like, they were trying to say, men have to hold each other accountable. But I think the execution was just a little bit off.
So, is this a razor company telling me how I should feel about social issues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
So
say
so this is a company that makes a product to shave my pubes, telling me how I should treat women.
Oh, and I can't say you can say pubes.
Oh. So basically, what they're saying is, buy our products,
To be
and when you're done scraping your nutbag therein, treat women well.
Well, this is very concerning to me.
Why?
Well, it's funny because if you're trying to be a better man, and everybody that is currently a man has a beard, so with this is just too in depth. I can't build off this. All I'm saying is you're selling a company to be more manly in today's standards while also getting rid of manliness.
Yeah. Well, that's that's an issue with it. And now, it's obviously not the premise of the thought. So,
it
the
is to a
premise
degree.
of the thought is, hey, men should be good.
Most men are good.
Yeah.
Most men are good. That gets into the issue of the matters with which it was discussed. So how it was presented that men are not good currently. Whereas it's probably
that.
safe to argue that the majority of men are.
But technically, in the commercial, men are still good because when the one guy was gonna catcall that lady,
But
the
that's-
one guy was just like, "Yo, chill out."
But they're pointing to multiple people having issues.
So you're telling me the guy that was catcalling had Barbasol and the other guy had Gillette? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it actually might have worked if everyone who was doing things in a demeaning manner had a beard. So then you could have gotten into
Well, I
some...
mean, if you have a beard, then you're not necessarily using their product.
That's the point.
Well,
It's subliminal
still-
messaging.
I still use it.
So if you have a beard, you are toxic,
So if
masculinity.
the people who were being toxic were, wow, that was a weird quote, toxic, were with beards, it would be a little subliminal messaging they were trying to hint at.
That would have been good.
But they didn't do that.
But they didn't do that.
But they didn't do that. Instead, they have a bunch of people doing weird things, which...
And I think that might have been one of the problems, is that I think they try to tackle too much in a minute and a half. Like,
Listen,
so,
it's all good. I agree with that, but
It's
it's
a
all good.
company-
Like, bullying's bad, but
yeah,
daddy's not gonna save you.
Yeah, they go into bullying, they go into sexual harassment, they go into boys
This
being
sexual
boys.
harassment. No, it wasn't sexual harassment. It was just like you tried. It was one of those.
No.
It wasn't like
there was the one.
like.
There was the one where the guy. They
Oh well,
covered
yeah.
the
That's the
sitcom,
TV. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
But wait, they had to go and create a skit.
that is true.
They couldn't pull a skit from an archive. They went and created material. They used actual material of Terry Crews testifying
Against other men.
against other men because he was
Because he was assaulted.
assaulted.
Yeah, he was
Allegedly,
assaulted.
but,
he
yeah.
was because he was allegedly assaulted. So they used that material, but then they have to go and create material to show somebody doing it to a woman.
Yeah. I mean, also something that I found disturbing was like the line of clones of dads that say "boys will be boys."
Well,
That was
Like, what is
creepy.
this? The Clone Wars? Boys will
well,
be boys.
that's
boys will
funny. Like that's a weird thing because boys do sit around and wrestle.
be- Yeah. I mean,
And then, like in the commercial, normally if it's getting out of hand, a dad will step in.
yeah. I mean, what right father that doesn't give their son or daughter discipline is gonna be like, well, my kid's beating the shit out of another kid. Like, I guess the other kid needs to learn. No, you're gonna say that's my kid. That's my name. I'm picking my son or daughter up and telling them what
Yeah.
the hell you doing.
Yeah. But
Like, if he
on
did-
the same note, if it's two kids wrestling around and they clearly aren't hurting each other because they weren't hurting each other in the episode, the one kid started to win a little too much, and that's when the dad stepped in. At first, they were wrestling around when everyone was saying boys will be boys.
And you can only be a dad if you use Gillette. Remember that.
No, you can only be a dad if you use a company other than Gillette.
See, that's what's confusing. Am I supposed to like?
Yeah,
Well, like I understand where they're. It's weird.
it's very weird.
Yeah.
And I like how they use a news anchor
Yes, that lady. Yeah.
from a group that's funded by a foreign caliphate that denies the Armenian genocide. And like, even if you say, well, I don't think maybe it didn't happen. If you have an argument on maybe it didn't happen to the level it happened, but it's like, there is factual evidence that it happened.
Also, I want to pause that point where it's all the newscasters and see which ones are actually real.
Well, the one that they have talking.
The one was real. I know
The
that.
one that
for a
they have
fact.
talking is with the Young Turks.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just pick, like, anybody else? That'd be like putting that would be literally the equivalent of putting Alex Jones as the news anchor.
Hey, listen.
It's just because it's the other way. It's okay.
All I gotta tell you is boys will be boys.
Oh, my God. I think they're just making the frogs gay.
Oh gosh, not down this rabbit hole.
But
My ears are cold.
it is a little chilly. We might plug the heater in,
Yeah.
but we have to turn some lights off because we start tripping breakers. It is just it's weird to do a commercial that's advertised towards men. And you ran me away from the boys will be boys point.
All right, well now we're back to
We're
it.
back to
You're
the boys
running
will be-
after boys?
What am I directing the X-Men? Come on.
Kevin
gosh.
Spacey. Come on.
Oh.
Don't you mean Brian Singer?
Both of them. Jeez.
So
on.
the boys will be boys thing. I've heard that said a few times,
A lot.
but it's never on situations where people are actually getting into physical altercations.
It was like when I was a kid. It was more of like, let's just say me and you were hanging out and we were playing Nerf.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, boys will be boys. They're
Yeah.
shooting at each other. They're having fun.
Yeah.
It
Sorry
was-
we aren't playing with dollhouses,
Yeah.
but there is gender. It is a thing.
And isn't Gillette have like a sister company or something that does stuff for women as well?
Yes.
Yeah, there's Bic does it. And, you know, it's not to get into marketing, but it's so incredible that if you put a razor from a woman and a razor for a man, they're the exact same thing, just one's pink, one's blue.
Well, I would say no, they're not, because the one
To a degree, but
the one for women typically have like more on the edges. 'cause-
right, but does it do the same exact thing?
yeah. And the irony of all of this is I've gone back. I used that Phillips thing we talked about on the show, but I've gone back to using a safety razor like a long time ago. It's a better shave. It's only one blade. It's not 10 million blades, so you don't start shaving today and finish tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
That is a good shave. I like saving with a
but
safety
they
razor.
work better than like a
They're easier to clean. They
Quattro.
last longer.
they're cheaper.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if this is necessarily a product plug because we don't have a name brand, but go try a safety razor. Don't cut you're going to cut yourself once or twice with it, but because you're learning how to use a different tool. It's like the first time you cut yourself with a razor originally.
And if you want to be really hardcore, just get a shard of glass. Because that's the most manly thing to do.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about on Gillette? We
you got Gillette Stadium and you got the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I want to add.
Okay.
I love how I saw this all over the internet that Gillette came out with this commercial, and then when you look at Autosport racing, like around the world, I don't know, DTM, which is the Deutsche Touring Motorsports, whatever it's called, they have Gillette girls, and Gillette is literally plastered on their asses. And they're in skinny, tight,
skinny,
latex
tight
I've seen
uniforms.
that,
It is.
Hey, nothing screams be a better man than looking at
Nothing
Gillette on a girl's
not
ass.
be a better man. Nothing screams sexual harassment is
Well,
wrong.
that too,
no.
but like you see the irony attached to that.
Yeah.
Easy, my friend.
I'm
Easy,
alright.
easy.
It is just.
Don't get too worked up. I talked about
Like,
women,
come on.
but easy.
Well, seriously though, like we have a company that makes a shaving product telling us how to treat women. I mean, what's next? Like, Twinkie gonna tell us racism's wrong?
Well, another thing is, I don't want to keep on building off of this topic, but most of the people that grew up with fathers that were manly have these. Those are the quote unquote better men of today, or the good guys of today. The
But they're telling you they're not.
but that's the thing that
Because
I'm
the
saying.
guy who sits at a barbecue
I mean-
grill isn't the good man.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is just like there's all these statistics that like if it's a single mother raising a fatherless child that they're 10.
That's bad information.
What do you mean that's bad?
What?
Information? It's backed.
It is. It's right there.
Yeah,
And they'll tell you that's not good information.
and I think that's.
No, I agree with you. The most stable households have a strong father figure. That's it.
I mean, you have the off cases, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you look at the statistics, that those people with single mothers are 10 times more likely to be violent and alcoholics and drug addicts.
Oh, easy.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't tell facts.
No, we
I mean,
can.
I can't. I need to CC my work. I'm
If
sorry.
you can
but-
find me the source for that information,
yeah,
I will
I'll try
attach it to the video. Because I'd like you all to be well informed. Well, you just get an interesting thought because, you know, the solid, strong man is not in people's lives as much anymore. But I think we're going to merge into segment part 2 to talk about the solid man.
Oh, cool.
So,
Oh God, need some oil.
WD-40.
That was my ass.
get some lube right up in there.
The best a
Oh,
man
gosh.
can do.
What did I sign up for? I didn't sign up
Did
for
I
this.
really talk about that much? Did I say?
No, you were fine. I'm harassing you
Oh, God.
because we believe in facts here, and I would have liked to have seen your information on some of that. So when we can link to it, we will. if we can't link to it, think that it's all just nonsense and he's talking out of somewhere that he wasn't talking about.
Where the sun don't shine?
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
Sometimes you gotta get there.
Anyway, so no, it's just people. I guess we need to warm that up. Put it in your pocket. Here, give it to me so it doesn't go home.
What kind of pocket?
Give it to me so it doesn't go home with you.
It's not gonna go home with me. I'm not a klepto. Jesus. How dare you assume my background and my...
Well, so as you were saying before we jumped out for a quick break, you get to a weird point where, okay, studies do prove, and we aren't going to link to this. Go read some Thomas Sowell. Go. There's a lot of people writing about this. It does show that having a father figure in the household makes a big difference in someone's lives. Like a real strong father figure, not someone who's just there.
Not Uncle John that's really your boyfriend because your husband left you.
Yeah, not one of those. But having a...
Not in my family, just putting that on the record.
But not having a constantly changing father figure is the way to say that. But having a sturdy male presence in the house, because the male presence is typically the disciplinarian, right?
For the most part. I mean, roles are changing due to the time and age.
I mean, but like, you know, most of the time whenever you hear of parental discipline, you know, you hear someone say, wait till dad gets home. And
now, yes, there are exceptions to all of this.
Yeah,
there
of course.
are.
Yeah, I mean, we're not saying, you know, that a mom can't be, can't bang the gavel.
Are the majority... So you run into situations, though, where there isn't a father. There isn't a stable father figure. There isn't whatever. Are the majority of teachers men or women?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean,
on that.
yeah.
If I had to put a number on it, I would say it's probably a...
Well, don't put a number on it. Just put your thought on. We are going to do something very professional, and we are going to look up a fact.
Yeah, I mean, just going with a gut feeling, I would say most of them are women, but that is just.
Well, you also have to think of like professors.
No, teachers.
Yeah,
like teachers.
Yeah, we're talking K through 12, right?
Okay. I would say female. I would say it's probably a 60-40 split.
Teachers are white? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Google's been
What are you
weird
doing,
lately.
Google? Clean it up.
The teaching, according to the Association for American Educators, male teachers are far and few between.
Okay.
So I was right. I was on the right path.
Male educators constitute 2.3% of pre-K and kindergarten, 18.3% of elementary and middle school, and 42% of high school teachers.
Oh, wow.
So
I was right. I was on the 60-40 split.
For
high school.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. That was pretty good educated guess.
But for in the early education of all people, it's majority female.
Oh, mind is blown right now.
So,
you know why?
Why?
Because the father is usually at work and the mother stays at home. So what they want to do is acclimate them to show that there's a tending, loving figure in their life that's teaching them when their father isn't home. So when the father gets home, there's disciplinary action and respect.
I'm not sure.
No, that's not the way to say it. That's probably what.
But you see what I'm trying to say?
What he was trying to say.
I see what you did there.
But what we're getting at is that there. So if it's only a female in the house, if there's no strong male figure, and then all the teachers are mostly female, there's never any strong male presence in some of these people's lives. At least with a male in the house, while they're at school, okay, strong female presence. While they're home, there's a strong male presence, and they're.
But it doesn't need to be a male presence, though. It can also be like, I'm just trying to be inclusive in the times.
You were the one who said the studies show that.
No, that's a study.
No,
but
we're not talking about the times. We're talking about numbers here. I don't care if the times say there needs to be more male teachers.
I never said that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, when it comes to a father figure, it doesn't necessarily need to be male. It can be female. It could be two dads. It could be two moms. It could be the. But
I
what
see
you're
that.
trying
No.
to what you're trying to say is there needs to be a
A strong male presence. That's what these.
I'm saying
things are-
single mother. I wasn't saying single person.
Okay,
That's what I was trying to get to. I didn't mean it like that.
no, but you look at all of these studies, and it is having a strong male father figure makes a difference.
Yes.
And it's we're going to try to link to some of these things, but maybe I'll probably forget. But it is only tomorrow, so it depends on how much
Yeah.
more of this Michter's I drink.
We're having a party tonight.
It's yes, there are exceptions. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule. Yes, there are things that work in place of it.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is you have illegitimacy rates climbing, but it all we can sit here and talk about all this stuff till our faces are blue, because the information's there and people aren't paying attention to it. But what are some of these factors that constitute a strong male figure? Because you don't have to be a lumberjack smoking a cigar, drinking straight bourbon.
No.
You don't have to be a plumber, tree mover, smoking a cigar, drinking straight bourbon. You could be an umpire. You could be a car
Oh,
salesman.
gee, thanks.
But it's not. But being a male isn't about a specific set of skills per se.
Oh man, I could get into this so deep.
Well, we got a little bit of time.
What I think it's more of a psyche thing, because I know this is gonna sound weird, but if we take the movie Jaws, when do you see the shark?
Full disclosure, I've not seen Jaws.
You've never seen Jaws? What? No, but how long does it take you to actually see the full shark?
Isn't it like almost the whole movie?
An hour and a half, and the movie's an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
This is where I'm getting with that. The fear of that person, that thing, that animal, out and about, can find you in any time and place and inflict extreme damage or fear into you.
So are you saying that the father figure is an animal, a wild animal running around?
No, what I'm trying to say is our human basic instincts kick in, and we realize if we don't see something for a long time and we get told, ooh, that's coming for you, you're going to shit the bed. You're going to be scared shitless. And that's where the respect and accountability and the whole morals come attached to it, because you don't want to get your ass kicked.
Okay. But I don't think being a man necessarily entails.
Yeah,
kicking
it doesn't
people.
mean like
I'm not saying
ruling
that
through fear, though.
No. But if you associate that person, that thing, that anything to negativity, because it's the whole thing. If you
It's a discipline.
it's a discipline. Yeah.
So you're talking about kind of negative reinforcement in that aspect,
Right, because you're saying, "Oh crap, my dad or my mom."
But we jumped to a different conversation.
How?
We're
Talking
talking about
psychology?
being a man. What does being a man entail?
Well, I was just going off the
Not
whole
what does
piggyback.
being a male father figure entail.
Oh,
but-
it entails a lot.
Yeah, there's
There's two different conversations going on.
yes. I'm trying to merge into the just general being a man.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if that got a little confusing for a second, or if I let it in wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like, fatherhood is one of the most important things any man can do in their lifetime.
100%.
I can get behind that.
I think that deserves its own topic and conversation.
Which we talked about before, about what emulates a perfect father and how it correlates
Not really.
with the.
We talked on it lightly.
My first episode, you talked about
touched
being a
on it
father,
lightly.
and I was just like, I'm all about that because it all starts with the
Yeah.
infant structure and all the whole 9 yards.
We touched on it lightly, and by the way, if you haven't seen that first episode, you should subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch episodes with Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Anthony.
Anthony,
So-
Anthony, get in the car.
And we've also lightly touched on, being a man means solving problems.
Yes.
We've
That
had,
was in that episode too.
you were in that
Yes.
episode. We've had some of these conversations, but is there anything we should add on to that? Because I think there is.
Well, I've said it time and time again, accountability, responsibility, and overall just gentleman-like. Like, if you're an asshole to your kid, you're an asshole. Like, sometimes you
But there's a difference between being an asshole and being a disciplinarian.
Right. Like, if you
But you're going back to the father conversation.
Aren't we talking about...
No,
well, we're talking
going
about
into
men.
being a man. And you know what?
And I've said that time and time again, too. It's about accountability, kindness. And
it
comes down to accountability. If you cannot be accountable for your actions, then you are not an individual that can think and be productive.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. I wanted to get into, like, some of the virtues of men.
Oh, yeah, we can do that, too.
Like character strength and fortitude. And,
Yeah.
and
Sorry, I
here we
just
are.
dived it in because at the end of the day, if you're not blunt with it, it's never going to get
if
across.
you're not accountable for any of it, none of that
It
matters.
doesn't matter.
Because
Accountability is key.
Because if you use that masculine virtue of strength, and instead of protecting someone,
Exactly.
you just beat people up, and you're not accountable for it, then there's no
Exactly.
comeuppance. We need comeuppance.
Wow.
So we need to take this outside.
But there's so many virtues, and the issue, the big problem that comes with the gender discussion is there are a lot of actual differences between men and women.
Yes, physically, emotionally.
But
everything.
even there are character traits associated with men and women that are different. Like, there is no character trait of male beauty.
They can
You've
be very
obviously
handsome.
never watched RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh man! The only reason
I never
I've actually
will.
watched that show. It's pretty interesting. I'm not saying I enjoy it. I'm
I've
not
never
saying
seen it
I'm
either.
disgusted. You've never seen it? It's
No, I've
actually
never
pretty
seen it.
interesting. Very interesting how these people pull it off.
But that's not real.
It's a reality show, yeah.
Most of
It's
it's not real though. That's people dressing up as a character, as a personification of something. And yes, I'm sure there are people that do this regularly. And if I insult you, write me a letter. I don't know.
But you're accountable for your actions.
Yeah. But
Even
there's
though
a
you're
difference
digging your own
between
grave.
accountability and not caring.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I don't care. That's a whole different level of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's of over exaggeration. That's a whole level of flair.
Yes. Going
And-
back to virtues though.
Going back to virtues. Why, we can't finish this virtue?
Oh well, you always cut me off.
I cut everyone off. I'm
Well,
the
he's
main
told
host.
you to cut him
I
off.
am
yeah,
all
well-
but Jeremy Clarkson here. I'm allowed to cut people
You are
off.
nowhere near Jeremy Clarkson. Nowhere near. I love that show though. Grand Tour is just a fantastic show.
Yeah, they did they're a very good group. They've clicked together very well. But they're, I don't know. It's so in depth we can't touch on it, which is why we keep chipping away at little bits and pieces throughout different shows.
We should. Well, good thing that we're recording this because then we can always look back and be like, damn, like we could have looked at that a different way. And
Yeah,
we have the right idea there.
I
but it's
don't
not
watch
enough.
any of them.
Oh, and you pester me for watching.
Well, that's
videos.
because I sit there and watch them as I'm as I'm recording
well.
them. But
Pay the paper.
there is. What do you have? Anything on being masculine, manly, and other than RuPaul's Drag Race, which as we get back to it, there is no. But that's not defined as male beauty because they're dressing up as women.
Yeah, they do say ladies.
What?
They do say ladies.
They say ladies.
That's okay.
So they're appealing to feminine beauty.
Here, you know what?
But
We can put this the best way and the most positive way. They are being the best man for themselves.
Okay.
But aren't some of them actually just dressing up?
Yeah, but
And some of
And
them,
that
some of them
person's life-
personify that.
but that
it's
person's
like being a
life.
furry.
But that person is being the best furry they can be as a man or a woman. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, let's not like say, oh, that's. We're not saying
Well,
it's
you
totally
know
wrong,
what?
but what we're trying to. What
You
I'm
know
trying
what?
to say is, you're being the best person that you're trying to be, embodying that stereotype, embodying that visualization, embodying that ideology.
I like that. because it doesn't matter what I think of them.
No, and
If
goes.
they're happy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it goes to the car scene. I like my cars, but if I think that a Ford F-150 Raptor grill looks good on my Ford XLT, and some asshole says, "Oh, you're a poser, you're poor, you can't afford an $80,000 truck," I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, but I'm proud of my truck."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the hell
As
you
you
say.
just tell everyone you drive an F-150.
Well, I was just saying.
But it is the most popular truck in America.
It's a damn good truck, brother. Hell yeah, brother!
No, that's. I guess that's.
I'm just really excited because I just bought that truck.
Yeah, of course. There's another part.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There is I guess that's another part of, and that's I guess just how to be a better person though.
Yeah.
Be who you want to be, and don't let it affect other people.
Woke.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just going off that point, yeah, like, I may think a certain way about what somebody's doing with their life, but
But does that make you a bad person?
No.
No.
It's the
As
same
long
thing.
as you
Yeah.
aren't.
As long as I don't try to belittle that person,
or force it onto other
yeah,
people.
yeah,
Correct.
force my viewpoint
Throwing
on
massive
other people.
shades to many amounts of groups.
Correct. And
So yeah, you live your life, I live my life. We're both happy.
that's a pretty libertarian statement, though.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we're fine.
jeez.
Oh, God. This isn't a friggin' 1969 moon landing
I think
reenactment.
It's all fake.
It is fake.
Fake news.
It is fake news. Let's pester some people. Actually, on that topic, my
the
grandfather
world
actually...
isn't flat.
The world is flat. When the sun... there's actually... the world is a donut. And the sun actually goes through the donut. And that's why we don't get sunlight. True fact. All right.
We're all living in a computer simulation.
I agree to that, too.
Oh, man.
We're having fun with this.
We're not here to offend people.
Yeah.
We have opinions. We gladly tote them because we're not trying to affect other people with them. So we are happy with doing what we want to do.
And we're having fun with it.
And we're having fun.
That's the main
And we
point.
don't all agree on everything.
No, not at all.
Definitely not.
It might seem sometimes like we all just sit around and agree with each other, but if you listen to the tone very intensely, you could tell that we're not agreeing with each other.
But, we're still friends, still just having a grand old time.
Oh,
with
shut
it.
up.
Gee, thanks.
I'm just kidding. bro.
I know,
I'm
I know.
kidding.
But
We're good, right?
Yeah, we're good.
this is the word I can't say-est shell I've had.
Is it the digger word?
No.
Why do we... I swear, everybody's going to say this guy's an idiot, and we're just
Yeah,
laughing at
because
it.
I'm just going to completely cut you out and play pogo over you in the first section.
You should do an air horn or something, like a train horn. Like,
But it is, yes, we aren't trying to insult drag queens, but that's another thing. It's just,
don't think
I
we
agree
did.
with Kurt Russell. We're being too sensitive around here.
yeah, is that like the 100th time you said it on
Yeah.
the show? I mean, I can't talk because I say accountability every goddamn time I'm here. So.
I think that that's like the 6th time, but we should get a Kurt Russell. Can we need an advocate?
We should get a cutout. We should get cutouts of famous people that we always mention. Like one of Alex Jones, one of Burt Russell, Chuck Norris, John Wayne.
the frogs.
Oh, gosh.
We should do frogs with drag queen outfits on it. That'd be some shit. Coming out of the barn. Coming out of the barn.
And not an actual cutout of Alex Jones, just the frogs. Oh boy. All right. I kind of want to keep going with the conversation, but
Is this next page?
I think not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're
I think
still-
we aren't doing a review today. It's very cold up here, and it'd just be a whole nother step and a whole nother thing to do, and I apologize. So We're going to talk about a few manly products.
I'm offended.
Write a letter.
Okay.
That's the write a letter.
I don't know how to write.
I only-
Go to
I
school.
only
What
know
schools?
how to- Oh, jeez.
Today, Junior.
Hard education.
Hard education.
Oh,
Anyway, all right. So, the Aston Martin
Nice
company
car.
has come out with an electric car.
Very neat.
Yeah. I don't know much about it. It looks like an Aston Martin.
Well, yeah, because it's probably an
An
Aston Martin.
Martin.
Also in electric news. Oh, we should do an electric news segment, like all the new upcoming electric stuff. But I don't know what the company's called. It's something with an R. They're actually making a pickup truck that's fully electric. It's really
I
freaking
thought that
cool.
was Atlas.
I think it's the Atlas Reva something.
That doesn't begin with an R.
No, but the submodel, it's like an Atlas Reva blah blah blah, and it has awesome cargo space. It has autopilot, and it does 500 miles on a charge. 4x4 capabilities too. Thing's sweet.
That's pretty dope.
Electric cars aren't the way of the future, though.
No, I think it's too ahead of its time. Like, it's practical, but not practical to the sense that everybody
Well,
should
it's
have
just, you know, it's not like these people are it's not like most people are charging it with solar panels.
one.
The batteries have a significant cost, an environmental and monetary cost,
Yeah.
and you're just using gas to do it.
Yeah.
They're using we use more natural gas than coal now, but they're still using gas to generate the electricity.
Or it's
So-
like Niagara Falls with the water fountain, but nobody has a Niagara Falls except Canada.
Do they own Niagara Falls?
Well, you have the Horseshoe Falls, you have the XYZ Falls, whatever the hell they're called, but
Yeah.
the Horseshoe's on our side, and the other one, I don't know how it goes. but-
Yeah, it is. There are two falls like that.
Isn't it like technically three? It's like one
Is
on the
it?
American side, like a small one on the Canadian side, and then one like in the. That's the Horseshoe Falls, but I think most of it's in America.
I've been up there quite a few times.
And that, have you seen it frozen
And
over?
you never invited
No.
me.
You haven't seen it frozen over?
No.
Oh, it's cool.
I saw pictures of it from
It's
the other day.
So I went up there on a lacrosse trip, and literally it was.
Ooh.
I'm gonna burn this on your forehead, you friggin' snob. But because of the mist, the water's always going. It never like unless it's like
moving
negative 50.
It's moving too much.
Yeah, but the mist actually creates a wall like in Game of Thrones. You know, like the snow wall.
Yeah.
It's really friggin' cool. It's really cool.
So one might even say winter's coming.
April 14th.
Final season, right?
I haven't watched any of it.
I've watched part of the first episode.
Listen, I was a non-believer in that show, but that show is amazing.
When is it going to get on Netflix or something?
Probably never.
When your broke ass gets some money. I have enough for HBO.
I think I might have.
It's
Dude, just binge watch
wait.
it until April. It's all free
Wait, so-
as long as you have an
so-
HBO subscription.
so with Hulu, you can add on HBO.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's like 15
there's
months.
secret to my Hulu account. I
Okay.
can't add anything onto it. All right, now let's get
Moving on.
Let's get into. Oh, we never looked up the PQM.
No. Oh, I can do it.
Okay,
Do
you
it.
do it because I'm going to
On
talk
it.
about as we move into the gun news. With the big craze in long range shooting lately. What is that?
PQM is a producer / DJ who is one half of.
No, look up
Oh my
look up
god!
PQM guns.
I know, but it's just funny that that's the person that came up.
All right. With the trend in long range shooting, Ruger is now. They made the precision rifle.
What?
Is that a grappling hook gun?
Wait.
What the?
Oh, that's got a hanger.
There's no such thing as. Oh, wait,
I
hold
think
on.
the audience should see that.
Nope, no such thing as a PQM. I think you're thinking of a PQ or a PKM.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I should have said that. Oh well, whatever.
yeah, PKM gun. Here, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pachankin or whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Okay.
But
The glorious gun from Mother Russia.
since the Ruger precision rifle got some mixed reviews because it's based on a AR platform.
That's a scary gun.
Oh yeah. Well, but no, people who actually shoot who like wooden guns. We're like, wooden guns and iron sights. And so now Ruger's making a Hawkeye long range. They just announced it. SHOT Show's going on this week, I think.
I think it ended already.
I thought it ended on the 27th.
Yeah, one way or the other, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow anyway. It's pretty much over.
And I'm excited.
You're excited.
I'm very excited.
He's got a gun!
Because this company that makes this very iconic gun
Beautiful gun.
is finally, they've been producing guns in America for some time again.
Probably after World War II, right?
Yeah. Probably a little bit after World War II. There was a little bit.
Well, we can't say too much because Hitler did buy Ford plants to make Tiger tanks in America.
What?
You did not know that?
Tell us.
Hitler literally purchased Ford plants in America to produce Tiger tanks before 1938 or 39.
Damn.
So we literally made Tiger tanks.
I thought
for
the
Hitler.
Tiger tanks didn't exist that early.
Well, they were making the production line, like they were
The prototypes.
yeah, like the prototypes and everything. But Ford actually made Tiger tanks,
Learn something new every day.
which is kind of cool, but also stupid. But cool.
Yeah, it is quite cool. But anyway, Walther is in America. There's been a big wait since Smith & Wesson stopped licensing the guns, and there were a lot of issues with quality on there, and they're making the PPK S and the real PPK now.
Is that the James Bond gun?
Yeah, but they aren't making it in 32.
Well, isn't it a 380 auto?
No, not in James Bond gun.
Ah.
It's coming as a 380 auto, but it was originally produced as a 32.
That's pretty badass.
It's a cool
They
gun.
should really make like a carbon fiber one because that gun would be sick. Why do you roll your eyes at me? God damn it! This is a new age. There's no more wooden guns and iron sights, old man. Get some AirPods, you uncultured swine.
I don't have the money for it.
Damn HBO. Come on now.
Sorry, I don't speak broke.
Isn't that what? No, but the PPK as it sits is a pretty iconic gun, and that's kind of why it's cool.
The only other iconic gun, it was actually at SHOT Show, since we're on the subject, was the Beretta pistol used in Die Hard and one other movie. It was the same M9, the 92 FS.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at SHOT Show. It was like the exact
Oh,
gun.
that was the same one. No, it wasn't the same.
It was
one.
Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. That was
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's on Hulu right now.
Because there was also the. There was
It's on my
also
watch list.
Hulu's been like really putting the work in lately.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
watch Rick and Morty on that too.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the Beretta 92 was also in that one the movie about the assassin who somehow a little girl. I forget the name of it. It's something the assassin is actually the name of the movie. It's like Leon.
Oh yeah, Leon the Professional.
Leon the
That's what you're thinking
Professional.
of. Yeah, yeah.
And he has some really cool 92 FSs with these just huge muzzle brakes.
Oh
on them.
yeah. Well, like that's with the Resident Evil 2. They came out with the Japan came
But
out
huge
with.
muzzle brakes on pistols are stupid.
They look cool though.
No.
They look
Well,
cool.
yeah. Kind
No,
of.
but they have like the Biohazard one where
They
it's
make
the
you look
long-
like a FUD. Could I get my men decanter, please?
You mean the me decanter?
No, it says men.
It says me.
It says men.
It says me with a black end.
You can clearly
Which goes
see-
back to the whole digger concept, but
Polishing it off.
that's racist.
What?
I don't know.
Do we have anything else?
Um,
We have a review that we're not going to do. Do you have any final thoughts, either of you?
It's cold out here.
It is quite cold. I've noticed
Oh
you've
my
been
God, you
fairly quiet
pansies.
tonight. You're not as quiet as Dave was, so. But you have.
am I the loudest one here?
I don't know.
Probably.
Between the
should
two
be-
of us.
I
That's
should-
why I try to get you on board.
Oh, great.
We lived in a dorm room for 3 years, and you're just figuring out now that I'm not a very talkative person.
Did you teach him how to be a man?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're cutting that off. Have a good night, folks.
Good night.
Hopefully I can get this to you tomorrow.
Get with the beat.
See, the world is a donut, and the sun actually goes through the donut, and that's why we don't get sunlight. True fact.